Welcome back to How to Coffee. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to steam milk. In a couple of our last videos, you may have seen how to make the perfect espresso. Using this method for steaming milk, you'll be able to make any of the coffee drinks that you're probably trying to make in your cafe. So before we get started on steaming our milk, we need to get everything set up properly. This is a 600 ml jug for steaming milk. You'll notice it's got a nice sharp pour spout on it, which will enable me to pour latte art later on. So for the purpose of steaming a latte, what I'm going to do is I'm going to portion enough milk to get to the base of the pour spout here. Now, this will depend a lot on the size of drinks that you're making, but for the sake of a 12-ounce latte, this is what we would do. So I've got enough fresh, cold milk in here to steam it for a 12-ounce latte. Before we steam, we always want to make sure that we purge the steam wand. As the steam wand sits, the gas steam that's inside of there will start to cool, and this means that it will go back into a liquid form. If we were to go straight in and steam our milk without purging the steam wand, any water that's pooled in the base of the steam wand will end up in our milk and further dilute it. When we steam our milk, we're diluting it by about 10% already, so we want to minimize that as much as possible. So before I go in, I can't hear you or see you. Feels like Michael Jackson. Once we've purged the steam wand, we're ready to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to position the steam wand in the center of the jug, right in the middle of the milk. And I'm going to put the tip of the steam wand right on the surface of the milk. The closer the tip of the steam wand is to the surface of the milk, the more aeration we're going to get. The longer it's on the surface, the thicker the foam will be at the end of the steaming process. Or too far into the steam jug, and you're going to get that awful screeching sound, and you're not going to get any texture. Too far away from the milk, and you're going to end up with a nice milk facial. So we want to be nice and central, right on the surface, and that's how we're going to get our nice even texture. Now the texture that we're looking for at the end is going to be a nice glossy sort of double cream sort of look, and it should stick to the walls of the jug. It almost looks like wet paint, and when you give it a good swirl, you can see the lights reflecting on the surface. So you'll notice that that paper ripping, bubbling sound that I've been making with the milk isn't going to last for very long. The longer that aeration sound lasts, the thicker the foam will be at the end of the process. I'm steaming until the side of the jug is not too hot to touch, but too hot to hold. If the jug is too hot to touch, it's too hot to drink. Now when I'm done steaming, I always want to make sure that I wipe the steam wand. Never forget to wipe your bottom, yeah, just like in life, don't forget to wipe your bottom. And then when you're done wiping, we always blend. Done. When you're finished, you should have a nice glossy, even milk. It should cling to the surface of the jug, and it should have a nice sheen on the top, and you should be able to see the lights reflecting in your milk. If there are any large bubbles in the texture of the milk, you can give it a light tap on the counter. But you shouldn't have to stand there and bash it on the counter for ages, because that means that there's far too much texture in your milk. Using this method for steaming our milk, we can get any texturized milk that we need for all of our milk-based coffee drinks. Come back in our next video to see us use this steaming method to make our lattes, flat whites, cappuccinos, and everything else going forward.